Hey guys, it's Steph, and this is my first video for GEWORLD. In this video, I'm going to be tackling questions about states and territories. Without further ado, let's get right on. So, first things first. What is territory? So whenever I hear the word, I always think about those gangsters in those Mean Girls movie where the lead character would be like, hey, this is my territory. This is a scene in Breaking Bad, for example.
Stay out of my territory.
So because of all those scenes that I watched in movies, I was able to come to the assumption that territory means that it is a place belonging or owned by a specific person or a specific group of people. So in order to make sure if my hypothesis is correct, I went to Google and searched it up. This is the definition given to me by Google. Territory is an area of land under the jurisdiction of a ruler or a state. In other words, territory is also a country, state, and land. So yes, now that I've confirmed my definition to be correct, I went on to the next question. Why is the world divided into territories? What's the purpose of doing it, right? So through research and careful deliberations, I was able to conclude everything into two reasons. Number one, order, and number two, belongingness. Let's first tackle the first reason. So you guys already know, for a specific group, there needs to be a specific leader. And that's also the case when it comes to territories. In the words of my father, every territory has a different conqueror. That's why if you took out the territories, you would also be taking out the specific leaders of these territories. And doing so will have great disorder. Why is that so, you ask? It's because people wouldn't know who to listen to. People with different interests and different leader figures will be put together, and these people with contrasting values and views wouldn't be able to come to a consensus. There's going to be an interference since there's no person who's going to keep them in track. Other than that, without territories, there would also be disorder in terms of resources, because people wouldn't know which assets they own. Everything would fall under the first come first serve basis, which would lead to stealing if people don't get what they want. Let's go to the second reason, belongingness. So I know that there's this thing called imagined communities wherein us people are placed in groups that we don't even know exist. And these groups are often outside of our territories. I know that, but let's not forget that territories are always the best place to go to if you want to find your people. These are the people you have same upbringing with, values, cultures, traditions, etc. These are the people you can call home. On to the next question. Why are borders drawn the way they are? Well, I have two reasons for this as well. Number one, natural phenomena, and number two, human desire. Let's tackle the first one. So under the first type of border, these are called natural borders. These are borders that are naturally made by Mother Nature herself. It's the oceans, the seas, mountains, plains, etc. But the problem with nature is that it's not man-made. Therefore, it's uncontrollable, unpredictable, and very flexible. That's why there's a lot of cases where natural borders look very weird on the map because they change often. For example, changes caused by convection currents, earthquakes, or when water dries up and there's suddenly a new land out of nowhere. Having an unchanging and not a fixed border causes great problems when it comes to territories. This is because the state wouldn't be able to know if the changed land is theirs or not. So in order to solve this problem, humans created the second type of border. So the second type of border was caused by human desires. You know, people, us, we're greedy creatures, and we want to be certain of the things that we own, our properties, our ownership. That's why in order not to get swayed by the impermanent tides of nature, we humans drew our own borders. That are not legitimized by physical aspects but more on through agreements, diplomacy, and drawing on the map. Okay, now with all talks about borders, it leads me to an additional question. Why are borders important? The reason is actually very simple. It's because borders serve as a proof or an evidence that we own something and what that something is. Because of borders, we are able to measure and mark our territory. And basically, without borders, there would be a lot of legality issues and disputes that would happen. Just look at the issues surrounding the Spratly Islands, right? We wouldn't want another problem like that. Has the world always been divided in this kind of way? The answer is definitely no. I mean, it's already a matter of fact that the world is never permanent. It's ever changing. Period. Just like how humans evolve, territories and the world evolves as well. Hi guys, just popping up here. So in order to map out the changes that happen with the world division, I'm here to give you guys a little brief timeline. So during the Mesozoic era, there was no such thing as division because people were living in one big supercontinent, the Pangaea. More so, the people were hunters and gatherers, meaning they didn't need to claim or own a land because they moved from one land to another in order to survive. But then a few thousand years later, they become cultivators because they got tired of hunting and gathering. This is where the first division of the world happened. But then just like what I said, humans are very greedy. They wanted more power, more people, more land, more resources. That's why they engaged in coalitions, in wars, and colonizations. So this was the time where the world division started to get a little bit complex, wobbly, spiderweb. States couldn't manage that. That's why decolonization happened. And then we jump to the 21st century and the creation of the land reclamation happened. This is a system where artificial man-made lands are being created through 3 ways: coastal extension, hydraulic reclamation, and polders. So as you've heard, the world division is very crazy. That's why I wouldn't be surprised if one day we become one big Pangaea once again. We're now on to our last question. What are the implications of being born in a specific territory? So the first implication is connected to what I said a while ago about belongingness. We know we are born in a specific territory because of our identity. And the second implication is citizenship. Basically, it's the rights that you have by being a member of this country. Alright, so that's it for this video. I hope it didn't take too much of your time. See you in my next one. Bye!